there, it's Dr. May, one of the chief mentors at Vet Mentor. This video will go through some tips and advice on how to prepare for your vet school interviews. As interview season is upon us, let's hope this video can help you out and ace your vet school interview. So what will we cover? We will cover three things. The first thing is a brief overview on how to prepare for the panel type interviews, including how to tackle the wider reading questions. The second part, we will cover a brief overview on MMIs, which are multiple mini interviews. And the third one is about virtual interviews. What we won't cover is going into how to excel in group interviews and how to dress for interviews and how to dive deeper into ethic questions. All these wonderful topics we will cover in our later videos, so if you're interested, hit the like and subscribe and we'll release the next video soon. So before we begin, just to get it into your head that with interviews it's always preparation, preparation and preparation. That is key. And you have to make sure you know which type of interview you're doing, when it is going to be, is it in virtual or is it live face-to-face. Make sure you have all these details noted down in your book, in your phone, everywhere, and let's begin. So with the panel type of interviews, they are usually more conversational type interviews. They can range from 20 to 30 minutes, and essentially you'll be in a room with one or two interviewers and have a conversation about your motivations of why you want to be a vet, a little bit more about your background, the activities that you do in your free time, and also your personal statement, things that you've done and you've noted down there. It gives the interviewer a chance to get to know you as a person, and also for you to show off and sort of talk about your interests, the things you've achieved in your that you've mentioned in your personal statement, and also show your enthusiasm and motivation of why you want to be a vet. It also aims to see if you have made an informed decision on why you want to be a vet. So they will ask you questions on, like, you know, the veterinary profession. What are the main issues facing the veterinary profession? What is the main role of vets in society? Questions like these that are really important to prepare for, and how you do that is through your wider reading. And how you do your wider reading, you can read articles on like Vet Times, Vet Record, BVA websites and things, so you're aware about these animal welfare issues that are going on, or like antibiotic resistance, things like these. Another way to get better at your wider reading is to join the free virtual vet society at Vet Mentor. So essentially you go onto our website and you sign up for this virtual free vet society, where every week you come together with aspiring vet students and discuss veterinary related issues. You also have some sessions with me where I talk through some clinical cases and practice using problem solving techniques to work through a case, and also show you some real life cases that I've experienced. And you know, it's a lot of fun and also educational, and also you learn skills that you will bring into your application in the future. So the link is in the description box, and yeah, that's one of the ways to get better at wider reading. So now we move on to the next topic, which is a brief overview of multiple mini interviews, the MMIs. So MMIs consist of a number of stations. They are either 5 minutes or around 5 minutes, where you will do a task, perform the task, and then move on to the next station. And depending on the university, it could be online through Zoom, or it could be in person, so a physical station where you will be. And these multiple mini interviews are aimed to test not only your confidence in speaking and communication skills, and also how you show compassion as a person and also as a potential vet in the future, and also some manual dexterity stations that they might have for you if it's in person. So what are the examples of stations? So for example, it could be a case scenario / role play acting station, where they'll give you a scenario saying that your best friend's pet has just passed away and you have to console them. So they will see how you console them, you know, what kind of words you use and your body language and things. And also they will test you on your like professionalism, and when faced with ethical scenarios, what are your ethical reasonings and how do you solve that kind of problems. And also dosage calculation stations, where they will give you a short question on how to calculate the dose for a drug, for example, and that uses basic mathematics. Other questions I've had myself in the past also include common vaccinations for pets, and also common welfare issues facing the veterinary profession at the moment. So the key thing about MMIs is it goes by very quickly, and it's very important to just focus on one specific task when you're at that station. And when you move on to the next station, you have to completely forget what you've done in the previous one. So if you've messed it up, just forget about it. If you've done well, then great, but then don't think about it, just focus on the next task. And one of the ways to calm yourself before the next task is to tell yourself, okay, I've done this task, I'm moving on to the next one. Take 2 deep breaths and then calmly walk into the next one and ace it. You'll be surprised, the adrenaline will help bring you and make you hyper focus on the next task, so use that to your advantage, okay? On the day of the interview, try not to look up new questions because that will just stress you out. What you want to do is, calm yourself down. If you've made some notes from the previous mock interview sessions that you've had, you can flick through them to calm yourself, or maybe just read through your personal statement again just to, remind yourself, what's there. Just trust yourself that you already have all the knowledge and all the preparation, and just do your best and make sure you bring through the enthusiasm and motivation throughout your interviews. Lastly, some virtual interview tips. Because of the pandemic and things, most universities will have online interviews, so it's very, very essential to nail down these little tips that can help boost your virtual interview performance. So number 1 is the lighting, and make sure that you have a good lighting so that the interviewer can clearly see you, and you want a clear background, so make sure you don't have anything that could be distracting, or either just turn on the blur function on Zoom to blur your background so that the interviewer focuses on you. And it goes without saying, you have to dress neatly, and when you want to angle your camera, make sure they can see your face and also a little bit of your shoulders so that you can show off more body language, and also use your hand to gesture when you're relaying points. But also don't go over the top with hand gestures because that can be distracting. But just be natural and make sure that you are not swiveling around in your chair, because that can happen sometimes when you're not in person. It doesn't feel like you're at an interview. So over Zoom, you gotta make sure that you are aware of these little body language and little cues. And also test your Zoom out before the interview. So test your computer, your laptop, to make sure that the audio function is fine, they can hear you loud and clear. So bring your friends, bring your family, see if the Wi-Fi connection is good, because nothing can be worse than going through an interview that's going really well and then have the Wi-Fi just cut off like that. So make sure these things you've nailed down, the technical side of things. You want to show that as an applicant that's really keen to do this interview and to apply for vet school, you already prepared and you're organized enough to make sure all these technical things have sorted itself out. But obviously, on the day, if something happens that's unpredictable, the interviewer should know, these things can happen. But yeah, try your best and don't leave anything to chance. Lastly, just to finish it off, when you're doing your interview, make sure you're smiling and make sure you are showing off your enthusiasm and motivation throughout the interview. You want to get that across to the interviewer. If it's via Zoom, it might be more challenging, so make sure you amp up your energy levels and you show them that you really want this and you have prepared well enough to get a spot at vet school. And then if you are faced with a challenging question that you don't know how to answer, be honest and ask for clarification. So for example, you can ask the interviewer to repeat the question or rephrase the question. And then if you really don't know it, you can say, oh, I'll be honest, I haven't heard of that disease before. Could you tell me a brief few sentences about it, and I will try to answer your question on it. So shows that when you are faced with a tough situation, you don't just panic and shut down, but you find ways to get more information, and also you are confident enough to realize when you don't know the answer. So don't give a fake answer essentially, but be honest. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out these videos on interviews as well that have done by Sophia and Erin. They provide useful tips as well. So all the best for your vet school interview. You've got this, and we'll see you in the next video.